Student friends, in the last period, we studied about the construction, working, and the derivations of output current, output voltage, ripple factor, efficiency, and peak inverse voltage associated with half wave rectifier. We concluded that the ripple factor of half wave rectifier is more. Hence, amount of AC which is present in output DC is more. The efficiency of half wave rectifier is also less. To improve the efficiency and also to reduce the amount of AC which is present in output DC, some modifications are to be done in the half wave rectifier circuit, and that's why we are going to study another type of rectifier that is known as full wave rectifier. Obviously, it is center tapped. Thus, today we are going to study full wave center tapped rectifier. The full wave center tapped rectifier is a rectifier that converts both, that is positive as well as negative half cycle, into pulsating DC at the output, and it makes use of center tapping of the transformer. That is the reason why it is called as center tapped full wave rectifier. If you look to these particular waveforms, we can get idea about the same, and that is, this is the input signal to be rectified or to be converted into DC, that consists of the positive half cycle as well as the negative half cycle, that forms a one full cycle. If you look to the output waveforms, the positive half cycle is converted into pulsating DC, along with this negative half cycle is also going to be converted into pulsating DC. Thus, entire full wave is going to be converted into DC, and that is the reason why it is called as full wave rectifier. Such a full wave rectifier consists of, means friends, we are going to study now the construction of center tapped full wave rectifier. Such a full wave center tapped rectifier consists of a transformer T, which is a step down transformer whose function is to produce reduced voltage across secondary of the same. The primary of the step down transformer is connected to 230 volt 50 Hz AC supply, which is to be converted into pulsating DC. Whereas across secondary, two PN junction diodes D1 as well as D2 are connected in such a way that the P region of the diode D1 is connected to secondary winding. The P region of the diode D2 is also connected to the secondary winding, respectively at A and B. Then N region of both the diodes are short circuited with each other, are going to be connected with each other. From the same point, a load resistance RL is connected to the center tapping of the transformer. This center tapping of the transformer, we can treat it as the ground. Thus, in between point A and B, that is across secondary, two PN junction diodes D1 and D2 are connected, but across C and D, the load resistance RL is connected. We will obtain the DC voltage across the load resistance RL. First, try to remember, this load may be anything for which we are going to apply the power supply. So that is going to be treated as the load. So this is what the construction of full wave center tapped rectifier means. Now friends, let us see its working. To understand the working of center tap the full wave rectifier, as we are aware that the primary winding of the step down transformer is connected to 230 volt 50 Hz AC supply. This transformer generates the secondary voltage across the secondary winding Vs. That Vs is equal to Vm sine of omega t. The magnitude of this particular secondary voltage Vs is as per our requirement of the power supply. Accordingly, we have to choose the transformer. If the transformer is of 606, one can get maximum 12 volt AC, that is Vs. If the transformer is a 909, we can get a maximum 18 volt AC, that is Vs. If we use the transformer 12012, we can get maximum 24 volt secondary voltage Vs. This voltage is applied to the point A and B with respect to center tapping of the transformer. When Vs possesses the polarity so that the terminal A receives the positive half cycle with respect to center tapping, at the same time terminal B is going to receive the negative half cycle with respect to center tapping. Then P region of the diode receives the positive half cycle, whereas P region of the diode D2 will receive the negative half cycle. Hence, diode D1 is forward biased, whereas the diode D2 is reverse biased. As the being diode D2 is reverse biased, it will act as open circuit, it doesn't conduct the current. But as a being diode D1 is forward biased, it will act as a short circuit and it will start conducting the current, that is a DC current, which will flow from center tapping PN junction diode, load resistance RL and back to the center tapping of the transformer. So direction of the current that remains will be from C to D. Thus, here one diode conducts the current and one of the half cycle will be converted into pulsating DC. But as a being, the signal Vs is a AC signal, it has a frequency, hence its polarity changes. Let us suppose A receives the negative half cycle with respect to center tapping and B will receive the positive half cycle with respect to center tapping, so that the P region of the diode D will get positive half cycle, it is going to be gets forward biased, whereas the P region of the diode D1 will receive the negative half cycle, so that it is going to be reverse biased. As a being diode D1 is reverse biased, it will act as an open circuit, it doesn't conduct the current. But at the same time, as a being diode D2 is forward biased, it will act as a short circuit and conducts the current. The path for flow of current is from center tapping to the diode D2 to the load resistance RL and back to the center tapping. For this conduction period of diode also, the direction of the current remains same. Hence, alternating current will be converted into unidirectional current. Thus, from this particular working of rectifier, we can say that both the half cycles of the input, that is a positive half cycle as well as negative half cycles, are converted into pulsating DC, and that is the reason why it is called as full wave rectifier. Friends, if you look to this particular circuit diagram, it makes use of center tapping of the transformer for its working, and that is the reason why it is called as center tapped full wave rectifier. The input and output waveforms of the center of the full wave rectifier are represented in this particular diagram. Here, this represents the input cycle, input signal, that is a 230 volt AC or a Vs equal to Vm sine omega t. which is to be rectified or which is to be converted into pulsating DC. So it is represented here voltage across AC to be rectified, or it is called as voltage across secondary winding. It is represented as Vs equal to Vm sine omega t. Vm is the maximum peak voltage of the AC signal. If you look to this particular diagram, this is the current pulses, whereas these are the voltage pulses, DC voltage. As we studied in the working, that when positive cycle will arrive at the input, diode D1 will conduct the current. At the cost of that, we will get the rectified DC voltage. But when diode negative cycle will arrive at the input for the diode D2, at that time diode D2 will conduct the current. At the cost of that current across the load resistance, we will get again the DC voltage, and the same process is going to be gets repeated. Thus, from this particular waveform also, we can say that both the half cycles, positive as well as negative half cycle, that is one full cycle, is going to be converted into pulsating DC or unidirectional current. Friends, now we are going to derive the derivations that makes you clear the idea regarding the DC current, DC voltage, ripple factor, efficiency and peak inverse voltage as far as full wave center tapped rectifier is being considered. The first factor we are going to derive, and that is for the DC current IDC. This DC current IDC flows at the cost of conducting diode D1 as well as the diode D2, and that flows through the load resistance RL, whose magnitude is going to be determined now. For that particular purpose, let us consider the secondary voltage of transformer be a Vs, that is equal to Vm sine of omega t, where Vs is the secondary voltage, Vm is the maximum peak voltage, which is represented in the waveforms. So this is the maximum peak voltage. We can call it, that is called as Vm. Whereas omega is annular velocity and omega is equal to 2 pi f. F is the frequency of the AC, that is 50 Hz. To calculate the DC current, first we have to calculate the peak current. Peak current Im is given by 2 times Vm upon Rs plus Rf plus RL, where Vm is peak amplitude of the DC voltage, Rs is secondary winding resistance of the transformer, Rf is the forward dynamic resistance of PN junction diode, RL is the load resistance across which we can get the DC voltage at the cost of IDC that flows through it. Thus, IDC for full wave rectifier is given as twice Im upon pi. By putting the value of Im in this equation, we can get IDC is equal to 2 times Vm upon pi into Rs plus Rf plus RL. So this is equation representing the DC current that flows through the load resistance. Now we are going to derive the formula for DC output voltage. Friends, as DC current IDC flows through the RL by Ohm's law, across that particular RL, the output voltage developed is given as VDC equal to IDC into RL. But IDC is equal to twice Im upon pi, put it here, so that we can get it Im into RL upon pi. Put the value of Im as a twice Vm upon Rs plus Rf plus RL, so as to get 2 times Vm into RL upon pi into Rs plus Rf plus RL. Take RL common from this particular bracket so that we can get 2 times Vm into RL upon pi into RL into bracket 1 plus Rf plus Rs upon RL. This RL will cancel with RL and we can get 2 times Vm upon pi into bracket 1 plus Rf plus Rs upon RL. If suppose value of RL is much greater than Rs plus Rf, ideally if RL is infinity, then we can get the factor Rf plus Rs upon RL becomes 0. When this factor becomes equal to 0, then we can write VDC is equal to twice Vm upon pi. And this is the DC voltage which is developed across the load resistance. Friends, now we are going to derive the formula for the ripple factor, which is denoted by R. As we have studied in half-wave rectifier, the ripple factor is measure of AC present in output DC. It is the factor that determines amount of AC present in output DC. It is also defined as the ratio of AC component to the DC component. According to this particular definition, we can write ripple factor R equal to AC component upon DC component. Student friends, all these we have studied in half-wave rectifier. Same aspect we are continuing here also. So accordingly we can say ripple factor is equal to AC component upon DC component, and that's equal to RMS value of AC voltage upon DC voltage, which can be written as VR RMS upon VDC. VR means ripple voltage, RMS means root mean square. Hence it is root mean square ripple voltage upon VDC. So this is the formula in terms of voltage. But in terms of current, same ripple factor we can write it as R is equal to IR RMS upon IDC. That is root mean square ripple current upon DC current. To proceed further, we have I square RMS is equal to I square R RMS plus I square DC. We are continuing from the upper rectifier itself by taking I square R RMS to the left side, so that equation becomes I square R RMS is equal to I square RMS minus I square DC, because we are interested to calculate the value of I RMS, so that we can get the ripple factor. If you take the square root of the same, we can get IR RMS is equal to square root of I square RMS minus I square DC. But the formula for ripple factor is R is equal to I RMS upon IDC. Accordingly, we can write it I RMS is root of I square RMS minus I square DC to be divided by IDC. Take IDC into the square root, so that ripple factor becomes equal to root of I square RMS upon I square DC minus 1. For full wave rectifier, IDC is equal to twice Im upon pi, which I already derived, and I RMS is equal to Im upon 2. So here is the change. Sorry, Im upon root 2. In case of half wave rectifier, it was Im upon 2. Now for full wave rectifier, I RMS is Im upon 2. These are the changes. Please try to remember. Substitute the value of IDC and I RMS in the ripple factor equation, so as to get R is equal to square root of Im upon root 2 bracket square upon 2 times Im upon pi bracket square minus 1. Getting square, we can write it Im square upon 2 upon 4 Im square upon pi square just will make it pi square minus 1. Im square will cancel. We can get square root of pi square upon 8 minus 1. We know that pi square is equal to 9.87, and that's why we can write it square root of 9.87 upon 8 minus 1. 9.87 upon 8 becomes 1.87 minus 1. And that's equal to square root of 0.87. It approximately comes to be 0.48. If you multiply by 100, it turns to be 48%. Thus, the ripple factor of full wave rectifier is 48%, which is much less than that of half wave rectifier. Thus, in this case, we can say that amount of AC present is reduced in the output DC. Now, we'll proceed for the next derivation, to which you can call it as it is the efficiency. As we know the definition of efficiency, as it is a ratio of output DC power upon AC input power, that is eta is equal to PDC upon PAC. Same definition we are using, which we have used in half wave rectifier. But PDC is equal to I square DC into RL. Put the value of IDC, that is twice Im upon pi, take its square, so that we can get it 4I square M upon pi square into RL. PAC is equal to I square RMS into RF plus RL. For full wave rectifier, IRMS is Im upon 2. So that's why we can write it its square as I square M upon 4 into RF plus RL. Now put it in this particular equation. I am on root to another. It is Im upon root 2 basically. Correct. Its square is 2 only. So that's why it is I square M upon 2 into RF plus RL. Put the value of PAC and PDC in the efficiency equation so as to get 4I square M upon pi square into RL upon I square M upon 2 into RF plus RL. I square M cancels, so that we can get it 8 into RL upon pi square into RL as a common into bracket 1 plus RF upon RL. If suppose value of RL is much greater than RF, then RF upon RL becomes ideally 0, and that's why we can get it efficiency as 8 upon pi square. So that is 8 upon 9.87, and that comes to be 0.81. If you multiply by 100, we can get it as 81%. Thus, the efficiency of full wave center tapered rectifier increases to 81%. Thus, here we conclude that efficiency of full wave rectifier is more than that of half wave rectifier. Thus, full wave rectifier is more efficient to convert AC into DC rather than that of half wave rectifier. Now, the last factor where we are interested to deal with, and that is known as peak inverse voltage. As the definition of peak inverse voltage, we can say it is a maximum reverse voltage for which both the diodes withstand without damaging. For full wave rectifier, the peak inverse voltage becomes to be equal to 2 times Vm. In case of half wave rectifier, it is Vm only. So, hence we conclude that Full wave rectifier is more efficient than that of half wave rectifier. Full wave rectifier has less AC at the output in the pulsating DC rather than in the half wave rectifier. Hence, full wave rectifier is mostly preferred in practice rather than the half wave rectifier. Dear student friends, you have to remember all these about the full wave center tapped rectifier. That is, in today's lecture we have studied the meaning of center tapped full wave rectifier, its construction, its working, waveforms, and also the derivations of DC current, DC voltage, ripple factor, efficiency, and also the peak inverse voltage. So that's all about today's lecture. If you got any queries, any doubts, you may ask to me with my mobile number, on my email ID, or on SPM app, or even on the WhatsApp group. So that's all about the today's lecture. Next time we will meet for next type of rectifier.